Welcome to Wise and Wild of America, a series meant to inspire and empower you in your self-authorship journey. I'm Adina Dabija, and today's topic is Embodied Practice as a Guide. Over the years, I learned a lot about myself through yoga, qigong, tai chi, and kung fu. I recently started to study Bagua, which inspired me to do this episode. I firmly believe that an embodied practice can set you on the road of self-observation, mainly to observe your resistance patterns and past trauma quicker than any other practice. So in this regard, embodied practices are some of the most self-reliant erasers of unproductive patterns and experience reframers. I started my embodied journey around the age of 16 with Hatha Yoga, following the instructions in a book. I still have that book, which was one of the first books published in post-communist Romania, my motherland. During communism, any practice connecting the body with the emotions and the mind, God forbid the soul, was strictly prohibited. There were no studios to train, no books available. So through yoga, which really means link, connection, I learned about this connection and how to fit in the world not only as a body occupying volume in space, but also as a unit of body, emotions, and mind that faces different challenges and distortions, searching for authenticity as a teenager. Then in my late 20s, facing some health challenges, I learned about Qigong. Qi meaning vital force, Gong meaning practice. I was introduced to Qigong by my amazing husband, who, although trained as an MD, valued so much Asian medicine that he put a remarkable amount of time in studying it, along with other mind-body techniques to empower his own patients. He found this small group practicing in a humble room together in Einstein Hospital, where he was doing his fellowship. And so I got fascinated by Qigong, and I found it very helpful in getting support for my, at that time, what I thought was a life-threatening condition. I did not know how to remove myself from that label that was put on me by the doctors. And I found Qigong very helpful in erasing that trauma from my surgery. Then I went on to study Asian medicine, one of the branches of Asian medicine being Qigong. So I studied a bit of Qigong in school, and after graduation I wanted to study it in depth. So I found a great teacher, Dr. Steve Jacobitz, with whom both me and my husband trained for 3 years in this medical Qigong program to learn how to treat patients, diagnose them, and give them Qigong prescriptions. So we ended up taking many other classes, including Tai Chi, and more recently, I've been taking Kung Fu for the past 3 years. So I started to teach Qigong about 10 years ago, and I train almost every day in different embodied arts. More recently, I created my own embodiment program, 9 Seeds for Life. In a way, I regret that I didn't find these teachings sooner, these practices sooner, but I'm glad I found them when I needed them the most. I think the fastest way to augment your performance, whether physical, healing, or creative, is to find an embodied practice that you love and let that practice become your teacher. What does that mean? An embodied practice connects your body with your emotions and your mind within a structured framework of understanding your body, your mind, and the world. For example, medical Qigong connects movement with physiology and emotional dynamics within the context of Asian medicine, which views the body as a reflection of the macrocosm shaped by different forces and elements. Hatha Yoga does the same within the context of Ayurveda. Going to the gym or training at home, separate muscle groups in a repetitive linear fashion is great, might get you in shape and may give you more energy and stamina, but it does not necessarily answer the question, how should I carry myself in my body and in the world so that I can meet specific challenges, emotional, functional, organic, behavioral, and even moral? How can I strategically interact with my environment so that I can stand tall and even change unfavorable circumstances? So an embodied practice turns constant awareness into action and reframes the entire experience of life, making it easier to process and potentially more vibrant and enjoyable. Sifu Andrew Rakunov, president of the World Full Contact Karate Organization Soshinkan and an 8th-degree black belt with whom I had the pleasure of training once through the discipleship program of my Sifu Steve Jakovitz, said, I don't do warm-ups with the black belts because they are always ready. So imagine what's like to be always integrated with your environment, always self-aware, perhaps even to the level of lucid dreaming, self-regulating, and able to tolerate stress so well that you are constantly prepared to stand up for yourself and others. As a blue belt level Kung Fu trainee, I may have a glimpse of what he's talking about.
There we go.
An embodied practice is an embedded coach. It lives in your muscle memory and your emotional conditioning, shifting self-regulation from the mind from the cognitive brain to the body itself. I'll offer you a basic example. Abdominal breathing can become, with practice, your second nature, helping you to develop the habit of naturally puffing the belly out on the inhale using the diaphragm, the most important breathing muscle, so that you can fill out the lungs completely. And so you oxygenate better and you get more clarity in your thinking. You become more relaxed. So all these benefits are very well studied. That can become your second nature. It's like a signature in your physiology, a habit and a tool that you can pull out of your sleeve without thinking when you feel overloaded. Because emotions can interrupt the flow of qi, a vital force in the body, and they can interrupt the mind. So an embodied practice that becomes second nature automatically shifts your physiology into a different gear. It becomes your new default mode, spiraling you away of the pattern that keeps you stuck in habitual reactions to various triggers, or out of your comfort zone, underperforming and frustrated with your progress. So it coaches you to get more robust. Which embodied practice should you choose? Well, I myself tried different things, and I saw what fits me and what fits my goal best, and what spoke to me. If nothing speaks to you just yet, that is, if you don't feel a pull towards a particular practice at this point, just start somewhere. If you don't start, nothing will change. So begin with an old, time-tested, integral system that can condition you. Align that practice with your goals. For example, if you are over 40 and want to get in shape, make sure that your practice includes not only a fast-paced catabolic aspect such as a cardio phase, but also a restorative, kind of like mindful breathing or slow proprioception, like mindful movement type of aspect. So be aware that any practice can and should be adapted to your specific needs and circumstances. And that is why the role of a coach is essential. So let's say you are like me, a mother of a teenager and a college student, a wife, an employee, a boss. Well, in most situations these days, you are already in sympathetic overdrive and your cortisol might have reached a level of a flat curve. Might use caffeine, other stimulants like adaptogenic herbs to help you going through the day, and that means you already experience prolonged adrenal stress. If you are perimenopausal or menopausal, this is especially true, and your cortisol has to compensate for your declining hormones. So in this case, it doesn't make sense to do high intensity interval training only to achieve your fitness goals, because your body will respond by upregulating fat production, breaking down muscles and increasing sugar cravings to make more cortisol and steroids. So therefore you will not get in shape unless you balance that practice with a more calming, nurturing aspect, or at least practice slower at times. So without a coach or understanding your physiology, a practice that might be perfectly fit for a young adult might actually backfire. You must realize that a daily practice can be both your safe container and your exhilarating roller coaster, depending on how you do it. So I myself do Kung Fu 2 or 3 times a week, and then on the remaining days, I might do yoga, Tai Chi, or Qigong. So I have a young masculine container, which is Kung Fu, and a more nurturing in container, which is in the way I practice yoga and Qigong. And you have to realize that even within a masculine container, if one day you, let's say like me, you are sparring, maybe the next day you can focus more on forms or weapons training. And within a soft container, let's say such as yoga, perhaps one day you may do more intense practices like inverted yoga poses, and other days you can balance them with more flow-oriented sequences such as sun salutations or warrior flows. So use common sense and choose wisely how you invest your time and how you select your coach, because a bad coach can set you on the wrong path. You must learn to recognize a yes within your body and a no. And this is true when it comes to choosing a practice also. Ask yourself, how would my relationship with this practice grow? Where would it take me? Would I want to spend time with it? Would I want to read about it, watch movies about it, connect to people who also practice it? Would I want my kids to do it? Does this practice inspire me to embody my best self? Could this practice eventually become my trusted advisor, my guardian, my self-defense technique, my advocate in times of distress? And so if a practice speaks to you, go for it. If you feel happy for no reason, more alive when watching it, or if you feel like crying in awe, like it just happened to me 2 weeks ago, that means that practice is for you. I fell in love with Bagua a few weeks ago in the most unexpected way. An old friend of mine, who is also a martial arts teacher, came on a business trip to New York, and we met in a park to do some interactive drills just for fun and see each other after a couple of years that we didn't see each other. So I asked him to show me a few self-defense moves and a form that he enjoys doing. So watching him, I realized the genius of this art, the flow, the simplicity within the complexity. And I almost started to cry for no reason. And when I asked him what it was, he told me it was Bagua, a system of self-cultivation mostly known for its martial arts applications, allowing the practitioner to fight multiple opponents simultaneously by always staying centered. But Bagua extends beyond the realm of combat, addressing various aspects of life, of reality at once. One of them being Feng Shui, the art of optimizing the energy flow in a space. So I felt so much enthusiasm that the next day I asked my Sifu if he can teach me Bagua. And I talked about it so endlessly that my Sifu finally said, enough. If I hear one more word about Bagua. And so I know what he would have done, but where do I want to go with this story? I think this practice revealed itself to me because I was ready. Although the Bagua symbol, with its 8 trigrams representing fundamental aspects of reality in Taoism, in Taoist cosmology, was in front of me every day during my 3 years of Kung Fu training, because it's part of my martial arts school symbol, I never really connected to the practice more than conceptually and occasionally through Feng Shui. Had I encountered it last year or even a month ago, I probably wouldn't have been ready. I think this practice came into my life to help me resolve an inner conflict I have with Kung Fu fighting and adjust my martial Qi internally. So I won't expand on this complex topic, but that is my advice, to start somewhere within the realm of embodied practices as a tool to study yourself, to improve yourself, because along the way you may come very close to living the mystery, the living wonder transmitted from one generation to the next, and shift your lived experience to a level that is intrinsically uplifting, grounding, and regenerating. Through such a practice, the baseline of your existence may become happiness, in the sense of ikigai or eudaimonia, a good life. Each practice carries within the living proof of energetic imprints refined from generation to generation of practitioners who polished it to perfection. If such practice finds you, each moment will become a moment of awareness and an opportunity to live a life of intrinsic happiness and value. So I'm ready for this new adventure with Bagua. It is attractive, mysterious, complex, infinitely wise and exciting, so it almost feels like a love affair. I want to spend time with it, learn everything about it, and just enjoy the feeling that something extraordinary is about to unfold through it. I hope I inspired you to consider an embodied practice, to feel safer, more contained, and closer to creating a good life for yourself and those around you. Thank you.